Kumusta, Margandang Arrow, and welcome to episode 68 of my Wurm Unlimited tutorial series. This episode is going to be on leatherworking and making a tool belt. Yesterday when I realised that I had finally made it to this episode, because I'll be announcing the competition that will be starting today, and it will last for 2 weeks. So first of all, let's give you the dates for this new competition. So it is Saturday the 23rd today, so in 2 weeks time, 2 weeks from today, it will be Saturday the 6th of February. So Saturday the 6th of February is the day the competition will finish. Remember, with the competition, if you wish to join us on this server, if you win this competition, then if you do wish to come and join us, you will be able to. That is if you make the highest quality item that we're about to get into, which of course is the tool belt. So the winner of the competition will be whoever makes the highest quality tool belt. Now, if you do wish to join us, you will need to either show a screenshot or any other form, just as long as we can see it, to stop people contesting each other, basically. If you just wish to join in for the fun of it and you have no wish to join us on the server, and that's absolutely fine, then just leave a comment with what you've achieved. Okay, so right, that's the competition, and so it starts today and it finishes in 2 weeks time on the 6th of February. Okay, let's now check my notes. So yes, this episode we're going to be making a tool belt, and we're going to be using the leatherworking skill to achieve this. Now, the tool belt is one of my favourite items to make and upgrade. If we just look now, I mean, for goodness sake, look at this tool belt which we get given when we start the game. 2 slots, and it looks pretty sad, and it is pretty useless at this. You've noticed in all the videos I've never even bothered using it. And yet, this is one of my favourite items there are in the game, especially to make and improve them up, because you have got... there is so much for me to go through. I've got to stop my waffling in this episode because there's lots of information to give you about this. You may not realise it, but this is one of them episodes that I'm going to be challenged. But the Gamester does like a good challenge. Anyway, this tool belt here is screaming to be upgraded. Not this one, of course, because you can't upgrade your starter tool belt. But it's screaming for us to make a new one and to upgrade it. Now, for those of you that aren't interested in the competition, I would set a little challenge to you to at least get to a 50 quality tool belt. What that will mean is for every 10 quality levels, you get an extra slot. So this tool belt being quality level 20, I believe. Let's just bring up and have a look. So there's our tool belt. It's quality level 20, hence why we have 2 slots. If you make a quality level 30 tool belt, you will then have 3 slots. If you make a quality level 40, you will get 4, 55, 66, and so on, up to a maximum of 10 slots. And if you make a quality level 100 tool belt, my goodness, you should surely enter the Guinness Book of Records, because that is no mean feat. Anyway, I'm straying, and I haven't got time to stray, not in this episode. I don't know how long this episode will be, but watch it until you either fall asleep or you've had enough of the Gamester waffling. Right, okay, so, and I will need to keep checking my notes, because this I do not want to mess up in this episode. Well, I don't want to mess up as much as I normally do, let's put it that way. So, why, I hear you all ask, why am I going to show y'all a game changer for sure? Well, the tool belt, I've already told you, and my apologies by the way. Do you see what I did just there? Not am I content with butchering the Queen's English, I'm also starting to butcher my friendly Americans language as well. You'll all have to forgive me for that. There's a couple of words I absolutely love that you Americans say. One is y'all, and the other is fly. Don't ask me why, but I just love them two words. And please forgive me when I butcher them, because when I say them in my accent, my monotone accent, I'm afraid I possibly do damage to them. I butcher them, but forgive me. Anyway, so carrying on, because I am starting to waffle. Yes, what this episode is about is it's all about making your Wurmian life easier and more fun. I have spent many hours preparing this episode, so I certainly hope you all enjoy it. And yes, I know there'll be a lot of you that don't enjoy it, that's fine. But for those of you that don't enjoy it, I can assure you that you will learn something new you didn't know, hopefully about the Toolbelt. Of course, there will be bigger fanatics out there in Wurm than me who know absolutely everything, the developers for one, but there'll also be an exceptional few people that have learnt this game backwards in ways I'll never even begin. So, but for the rest of you, and I'm talking you old Wurm players, I'm hoping you're going to learn something new from this episode. So let's see if the gamester can walk it like he talks it. In other words, give you that info. Right, okay. First up then, let's show you and mention the first 5 tools that you will be using when you improve in leatherworking. So when you're using the leatherworking skill, there are 5 tools that you need, and for ease of view I shall show you what they are. They are the mallet, the leather knife, leather, the needle and an awl. That's the 5 tools that you use for improving in leatherworking. Do not confuse that with what we need to make the tool belt. Now we're starting at the forge, which should suggest to the more observant of you that we're going to be doing a bit of blacksmithing. Now I'm off my cart, so let's get started on this journey to getting ourselves a beautiful new tool belt. So here we go. First of all, we are going to make a hook. Let's bring up the recipe window. Let's get the recipe list. Okay, so as you can see, I've been a little prepared. There's our tool belt. Before we can think about making the tool belt, however, we need to make hooks. Well, a hook, and we need a leather belt. So we will also need leather and a square piece of cloth. That is the 4 items we will need to make this tool belt. Now you'll see in my pocket I have a square piece of cloth. You'll see I have a piece of leather. So first of all we need to make some hooks. So let's double left click and let's find the iron hooks. There we are. So we need the small anvil and an iron lump. Let's grab the small anvil. Let's grab an iron lump. Let's now add the iron hooks to the crafting window. And let's now find the hooks. There they are. So it's called hooks, even though we're going to be only making 1. It's called hooks. So let's create. Great, there we are. We now have our hooks. I believe that's all we need the forge for. Let's just double check. Okay, so to find the tool belt, just type tool and then a B. Whoops, not an N, a B, and then you just see the tool belt. Right, okay, so we have our hooks. Next we need the leather belt. Let's have a look how to make that. So we double click and we'll expand. Okay, so we need our needle and leather. Well, if we switch to over here, we'll see that the needle is up there in the tools that I've shown you already. So let me just put that in my backpack. You know about the tools now, so I can put them away. Just drop them all into there. You see, I know it's a bit messy on screen. Let's put it up there. You see I've got a pottery bowl, which I just keep for the small tools. Keeps things tidy in your inventory. Okay, so I'll put the mallet in there. And the leather I can save. Right, okay, so that's tidied up. So we have the needle and we have the leather. Let's add the belt to the crafting window. There we go. There is our leather belt that we need to create. Let's click create. Okay, now if we look down here, oh, I thought pieces of leather had been removed from the game. They haven't. Wonderful. I'll just put them up there for now. I'm not going to stray. I could stray, but I haven't got time. So there we are. Let's put the iron back in the forge. We could put it straight into the bulk storage bin, but someone else might want it. So there we are. Oops, I'd meant to minimize that. Sorry about that. Okay, so we have our iron hooks and we have our leather belt. I'll need to just bring that up. I need to check that no one is going to get unhappy with what I've shown there. Right, no, that's fine. Right, okay, so we now have the 4 components that we need to make our tool belt. So let's bring the tool belt back up. There we go. Now if we look, we have the 4 items required. In fact, what I will do, because I've used that piece of leather, I will pull it up there and I will grab a new piece of leather. Okay, let's now add the tool belt to the crafting window. And there's our tool belt. Right, okay, so let's now click create. And here we go. And we failed. Let's whack that to 4 and click create. Notice the damage that's occurring to the belt. That's not a big issue. Okay, we now have an unfinished tool belt. Let's add that to the crafting window. Let's close this now because we don't need it. Okay, so we now need to add 1 piece of leather and 1 small piece of cloth. So let's add the leather and continue. Notice it consumed the whole piece of the 3 kilogram bit of leather. So make sure when making your tool belts you have 2 3 kilogram pieces of leather. At least 2 of them. 1 piece for making your leather belt and another piece for making the tool belt. Okay, I hope that all makes sense. Right, let's drop the square piece of cloth and continue. Yep, it's getting difficult, but the little bit of damage we're taking really doesn't matter. It's all good. Wow, this must be difficult to make. But there we are. Right, we now have a tool belt. Now, this of course is only 5.72 quality. We aren't going to worry about this one, are we now? No, we're not. What we're going to do with that? You know exactly what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to right click and drop it on the ground. There we go. Bye bye to that tool belt. Worry not, because up here in my small raft, Daniel very kindly made me a quality level 40 tool belt. So, okay, how do we get this new tool belt slotted up? Because we've got this poor sad little tool belt there. So what we'll do quickly is I will drag and drop it to my pocket, and guess what's going to happen to that tool belt? Yep, you've guessed, it's going on the ground. There we go, true gamester style. Right, for equipping the new tool belt, just right click and left click equip. There we go. Now notice, a quality level 40 tool belt, we now have 4 slots. I'm not going to imp it up now. Oh yeah, I am going to in the future, but off camera. I'm not going to waste your time, it's far too precious. So here we are. Here is 4 slots now. That looks much nicer, but in my opinion, it will look a heck of a lot nicer when we've got another 4 slots to it. Yeah, alright, it's going to take me a while, but I'll get there. You can trust the gamester. Okay, let me check my notes, because now is where I want to tread carefully over what I'm going to be telling you. Right, okay, a description from Wurmpedia of the tool belt. An ingenious system of pockets, pouches, hooks and holes designed to keep a wide array of common tools. A tool belt is a piece of HUD that allows you to place up to 10 tools or materials on it for quick selection. Okay, let's start now on some of this information I was waffling about right at the beginning of this episode. There's no doubt countless of you out there that have played Wurm for years and thought a tool belt's a tool belt. You just get your tools, you drop them in, job done. Okay, first of all, if you make a rare tool belt, okay, and let's say your rare tool belt is quality level 40, by making a rare tool belt you will get an additional tool slot. If you make a supreme tool belt, you will get 2 additional slots. So if your tool belt was quality level 20, you would get the 2 slots from it being quality level 20, and if it was a rare belt you would get 3 slots. If it was a supreme tool belt you would get 4 slots. How fantastic is that? Right, continuing on. Now what I'm going to show you now is, like I say, and I know people have mentioned it in the comments in the past, but they've jumped ahead of me in my episode, so I didn't really address them. I perhaps said thank you for sharing the information, but I did know all along the potential of the tool belt. What we have here in this series though is making you all aware of the potential of these items, and I intend to do it in style with the tool belt. Okay, so for those of you new to Wurm, I'm going to show you something wonderful for your tool belts. This is wonderful for all the trade skilling that you're going to do and all the improving that you're going to do. I hopefully will demonstrate it to you, but I'm going to show you some stuff you definitely didn't know about the tool belt. Right, enough waffling, let's show you. Okay, so let's say you want to do woodworking. Okay, what you will do, so we'll start with the saw. Perhaps we could drop the, let's see, where's the rest of my woodworking tools? So we'll have the saw, we will have the pelt, we will have the mallet. But yeah, these are all used in, well, that's for making planks, and so you're getting the picture. So for carpentry, let's say carpentry, we're dropping our carpentry tools in here. So we also need the file. Let's find the file and drop it there. Okay, now once you've loaded up a slot, I know I'm missing 2 of the carpentry tools. Can I find them? A carving knife is 1. I've only got 4 slots, so that'll do for now. Right, okay, so you've set your carpentry belt, okay, and you want to use carpentry for 0. Okay, so what you'll do, once you've set the tools that you want for the particular skill, right click on the tool belt, go to save to, and we're using slot 0. So we're using arrangement 0. It's important for you to get your head around this, okay? So please, if you have to, watch this video multiple times. These here are the arrangements of the tool belt. I will explain them in a moment. So for now, save to tool belt arrangement 0. Okay? You'll notice down here it says tool belt arrangement 0 saved. Right, okay, now what I also do additionally is I right click and, oops, forgive me for 1 second. Okay, right, what I do additionally is I save the tool belt. I always do that just as a double way, you know, like for those of you out there that have been working in IT for years, you know it's always safe to have 2 backups. I always do that way of saving both. Okay, let's move now to slot 1. Now slot 1 we are going to say we're going to use for blacksmithing. So we will go up here, we will grab the hammer for the first slot, we will grab our pelt for the second slot. Of course you use iron or iron lump and water, so what I can do is I can grab the cauldron with the water in it and I can put the water in that slot. And let's see, come on, tell me, help me out here please, what's the 4th tool? Not the iron lump, what's the other tool I need? See, that's the trouble, when you record videos it scatters your brain. Well, it does for me. Oh, it's the whetstone. So there we go, let's grab the whetstone. Right, so there's our smithing tools set in arrangement 1. Notice that these are the slots. This is tool slot 1, this is tool slot 2, tool slot 3, tool slot 4, etc. But this is arrangement 1. So before I show you back to arrangement 0, let's save it. So we right click, save to arrangement 1, and then save Toolbelt. Okay, now if I click the up arrow, it's alright, I'm going to show you a much better way switching between arrangements in a second, but it requires a lot of explaining. So let's just click up. So there's our carpentry tools. Let's switch down. There's our smithing tools. Okay, you can now set up your, let's do a second one. So let's do number 2. In fact, no, let's go the other way, because the Gamester does that sometimes. Let's show you leatherworking. So what we'll do, let's now find the leatherworking tools. So we got our awl, we got our leather knife, we got our needle. Oh, for goodness sake, Gamester, don't forget, you've only just said about 10 minutes ago the tools. Oh yeah, of course, the leather. So let's grab the leather. Remember, when you're imping, never use a full 3 kilogram lump of leather. Use one that you've dented already. I'll call it dented, but you've used a bit of it. So let's use that. We'll drop that there. Okay, there's our leatherworking arrangement. So we'll right click. We will save that to 9. Yep, that's 9. And I will additionally save the Toolbelt. Okay, so we now have 3 different skill sets loaded up. I'm not going to waste any more of your time, because you understand that if you're doing boat building, that's your carpentry tool set. If you're doing wood cutting, you can set up an axe and your sickle. For farming, you can do your rake. You get the picture. Right, okay, let me check my notes, because now we're going to start getting clever with the tool belt. Okay, let's quickly show the options again. So you can lock the window in place, you can toggle the size, you can set the tool belt vertical, so it's going to appear up in a straight line top to bottom instead of across, horizontal. Okay, you can hide the tool belt. If you hide the tool belt, you simply go back into HUD settings and re-enable it from there. You can load a tool belt. So say, let's say you've overwritten one of your tool belt arrangements with different tools. You can load that arrangement back up. Save to I've shown you, save to I've shown you. Next tool belt. I'm going to skip that because I don't have a second tool belt. Previous tool belt, well there we go, so that's enough of the options. There's your options. Right, let me continue. Where have I got to? So I've shown you how to drag the tools to your belt. Okay, let's see what to show you next. Right, what I want to show you next is how you can not only use tools in your slots, but you can also use containers. Now we're going to get very cool with the tool belt. Let's get on the cart, because for this I want to not only tell you, I want to demonstrate. I do want you to appreciate the cleverness of what we're about to do with our tool belts. Okay, so up here we'll go on to my farm area, or our farm area. No crops planted, but that's okay. Let's disembark. Right, now, so we've spoke about loading tools into your tool belt. Well, how about let's try containers. So if we go down here, you'll see that I've already done one here, but let's show you how I did that. So if I open up my character sheet, you can drag your backpack down to your tool belt like so. Okay, we can then close the character sheet. What is the benefit of doing that? Well, of course, if you right click, you'll have a list of options. The one that I will choose to show you is open. Now, it will open for ease of use. Now, if my tool belt was in my inventory, by activating that, let's show you. Goodness sake, why am I trying to jump ahead? Let's show you. Of all the time in the world, you can stop the video if you get bored. Right, okay, so when you activate the container, observe over here. It activates the items in the container for you. I'm not going to get deep and dirty with that. I'm going to example something else, because all I'm going to do is confuse you, and I do not want to do that. What I'm doing here with the backpack, I'm provoking you. I'm provoking you to get engaged with your Wurm Unlimited at your home, at your leisure, in your own time, to explore and experiment. Let's put the tool back. Let's put the backpack back. So, this is going to get confusing. Right, let's put that back. Forget about the backpack for now. I want to show you something far more interesting. Right, okay. Here's where the fun begins for all you farmers out there. And you are going to love this. Right, let's show you now. So, for example, I've got a pottery jar. Okay, whatever your chosen crop is that you want to plant in 100 fields, let's say, you will fill up your container. It doesn't have to be a pottery jar, whatever you want. If it can fill 100 crops, in this example I'm going to use barley, but let's say you choose a cauldron and you put 100 barley into your cauldron. Drop that container into your tool belt. Now what you can do, activate that container. Now if you have a hotkey set, now I have a hotkey set to P for sowing my crops. So with your container activated, you press your hotkey, it will now start to sow. If I move to another tile, I can then just press my hotkey again after activating the pot, and away it will go. That saves you messing around with loads of little items in your pocket. Now just imagine what you can do with all your different containers and all the different items you have in the game. How fantastic is that? Now, this is our container arrangement. I've spoken enough about arrangements, haven't I? But I've not shown you the coolest things yet. So let's move on and show you that. Right, let me just check my notes. Okay, here's now where I'm tempted to make a second video, a second part to this video on showing you what you're not going to be able to see. All will become clear as I progress. Please bear with me. Okay, now, I've spoken about different arrangements. I'm going to press the number 1 key. Watch what happens with my arrangement. Oops, no, that is not what I wanted to do. When I press number 1, anyway, let's just quickly go over that again. Number 1 will highlight my slot 1. If I press number 2, it highlights slot 2. Number 3 will go to number 3, and number 4 will go to number 4. If you have a 10 slot tool belt, all the numbers on the keyboard correspond to your tool belt. If you've changed it, you can go into the key bindings and you can set it to the numbers if you have. What I wanted to show you though is I'm now going to switch between my arrangements. Once I've done this, I'm then going to tell you how to do it. So with me, I've set it, and the way I'm going to show you is by using the control key. If I press the left hand control key and then press the number 1, I get arrangement 1 with my blacksmithing tools. If I press the control key and number 9, I get my leatherworking tools. With the control key pressed and pressing number 2, oops, let's check, oh no, wait a minute, number 0, I get my carpentry tools. So how do I do that? How do I switch between my arrangements? Now I'm going to try to show you, I'm going to tell you how to do it. If any of you struggle out there with doing what I'm going to tell you, leave a comment and I'll do a second part B to this video showing how to do the key bindings. Right, okay, so I'm going to now tell you how you can set your control key to your number keys to switch between your arrangements. You start by pressing the O key. If you've not changed your O key from the default, it will bring up the options window. Failing that, if you press the escape key, it will bring up the options window. In the options window, left click on the settings button. Now, for all of you that are playing inside of Wurm Online or Wurm Unlimited, when you press the settings button, the window will appear behind Wurm. In order to bring the settings window to the forefront so you can see it, hold and press down the Alt key, and with another finger press the Tab key. That will then, and then let go. That will then bring the Wurm Game Settings window to the forefront, and you will see it. Now what you need to do, on the furthest to the right, you will see there's a Key Bindings tab. Left click on the Key Bindings tab. Okay, I'm hoping you're all with me on this. Remember, you can, oops, ignore that because I am. Right, okay, so there is the Key Bindings tab. Now you see lots of tabs in front of you. You will see Movement, HUD, Action, Crafting, Item, etc. What I now want you to do is to left click on the HUD tab. Okay? Now you're presented with the HUD tab. What I want you now to do is to scroll down, and you will see it says Load Toolbelt Arrangement 1. Do not try and set the leftmost setting. So in the column close to the right of where it says Toolbelt Arrangement 1, leave that empty for now. What I want you to do, where it says Load Toolbelt Arrangement 1, to the right of that, to the far right, you'll see a column that says Modifiers. I want you to left click the drop down arrow, and I want you to left click on Control. Okay? When you do that, Control will appear in the modifier to the right of Arrangement 1. Now I want you to, just to the right of Arrangement 1, click the drop down arrow, scroll down and find the solitary number 1 and left click on 1. Now if you've done this correctly, where it says Load Toolbelt Arrangement 1, to the immediate right of that it should say the number 1, and the modifier to the right of that should say Control. Once you've done that, I want you then to do the same for Load Toolbelt Arrangement 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 0. So they should all have the corresponding number next to them to the right, and all the modifiers should be the Control key. Okay, that basically means whenever you press the Control key and a corresponding number, it will then bring to the forefront that arrangement that you have on your tool belt. So once you've set them, remember to click the Save button. If you do not, you will lose all of them that you've just set. So save changes. Please do not forget to do that. Once you've set all of the arrangements, left click Save Changes. Okay, now once you've saved that, whenever you press the Control key and the corresponding number, you will then switch between that arrangement. How fantastic is that? And so here we go. Here we get to the cool of coolness. When you are slaving away, improving your items, you can make it so much easier. Because now to give you an example, what I have done, I have bound a hotkey in them key bindings. You will see you can bind hotkeys to improving and repairing. I have set my hotkey T for Tango to improving and my hotkey R for Romeo to repairing. So when I'm improving an item, let's see, is there an item I can improve? Yes, there is. Dan's tool belt. Let's see, how can I do? Yeah, let's bring it up. Right, so this tool belt, if I want to improve it, I first need the tool belt arrangement. So I think I put it to 9. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so I've got nearly all the tools. So what do I need? If I examine that, it will tell me what I need to, so I need the all. So okay, so you could see I switched straight away to my leatherworking arrangement. Now what I will do is I can press the number key, number 1, that will activate my all. So I can keep the cursor over this tool belt without needing to change my mouse away from it at all, if I had a 5-slot tool belt. I know that some of you caught me there, but you didn't really, because I was going to get to that if you let the gamester. I know he waffles a lot, but he's doing this for all of you. Okay, so if I keep my cursor over that now, I have set, as I've told you, my hotkey for improving to T and my R key to repair. So if I press T after activating the all by pressing number 1, it now improves. I damaged it, so if I press the R key, I now repair. So I can now spam between the T and the R key really quickly, like so, like a lunatic, like I am, and it will keep trying to improve it. Okay, it will keep going. And I'm having to do nothing apart from just keep 2 keys pressed. How amazing is that? I press the T key and the R key consecutively until this tool belt improves. I've probably damaged it. No, I haven't. But there we go. That is how you can quickly keep improving an item. So that is how. Now if I did manage to improve it and it said I needed now the leather knife, I only need to press the number 2. I've activated the leather knife. Did you see that? Now I can press the T and the R keys to improve and repair. If it asks for the needle, I can press the number 3 key. If it asks for leather, I can press the number 4 key. There you go. That is the most beautiful, wonderful way to improve in Wurm Online or Wurm Unlimited, without a shadow of a doubt. You can now imagine, once you have a 5-slot tool belt, you are golden when it comes to tool belts and when it comes to improving, because you can now load up your tool belts with all the different skill arrangements. So for carpentry, farming, smithing, you name it, you can load up to as many slots as you want. Once you reach the peak of 0, then you can introduce a new tool belt, so it's unlimited, and you can just smith, you can imp away. Right, I hope that I really sincerely hope that all of what I've tried to do and explain for you has made sense. If not, please just watch the video again. I have tried to do it in a logical order, and I have tried to make the rewards clear to you. Hopefully it will make sense to all of you. Okay, so just to quickly remind you all, a new competition started today for the highest quality tool belt that you can make. If you wish to join us all on this island, and trust me when I tell you there is a few people now here, and they are all lovely, wonderful people that you are going to meet. If you wish to meet us all, win this competition, but remember to show either a screenshot or a video of your tool belt and the quality level. If you wish to participate in the competition just for fun, then just leave a comment. There we are. Wherever you are in the world, God bless you and keep every single last one of you safe. Have a fantastic day, and thank you for putting up with all my waffling. Goodbye.